This tutorial, tutorial 2.1, is all about how to create your bone structure for your portfolio to follow all of the DRSS guidelines to have a complete portfolio. So here I am, I'm logged in. I'm going to edit my site. Once I'm logged in, I can see my Pages icon, which is over here on the left side, along with the other tools and my Wix toolbar. And if I click on that, I can see all of the pages that came with my template. And these probably aren't titled the way that I need them titled for my portfolio. You can find an updated list of all of the pages that are required as a part of a DRSS portfolio on the handbook website. You can download it as an outline to become sort of a checklist for yourself, but I'm going to walk you through the process of creating those pages. You can see here some of the pages are indented underneath other pages, which means that this gallery is a subpage of the Our Story page. So I will also have subpages in my portfolio. All of my grade level pages and project pages will all be subpages underneath the Projects tab, but I only need 4 of these main tabs, whereas right now I have 6. So some of these I may want to preserve, like for example this contact page. I could simply rename by clicking on the Page Settings tab and renaming it Contact, which you can see will automatically change its name in the menu. The page address is what will appear in the URL of my website, so my username.wix.com/portfolio/contact us. So I want to change that just to contact so that it's a simpler name for my URL. And then also you can see that I can title the page. A page title is what appears in the actual browser tab or browser window. For example, this page title is Wix HTML editor. You probably want to make this some version of your name. So this is short enough that it could appear in a browser heading, but also descriptive of what the page is. So I've just done my name dash contact, but you could do any version that is simple and consistent from page to page. So that's how to just change information about a page, which is the easiest thing to do. You can see this little home icon means that when people navigate to my website, that is the home page of my website, which I don't want to be the home page of my website. I want this home page to be the home page. So when I click on the page settings, I can check this box to set it as the home page, and that will make sure that the icon appears on the home page, or whatever page I want to be the first page that people visit. So other things you can do with pages, clearly you can rename pages. So I know my second tab on my website is supposed to be called Projects. So I want to make all of that information, again, being very consistent, just using the same format as I did on the other pages. This page description and keywords will help in a Google search, which I'm not going to worry about right now, but eventually I could think about making that sort of a different, more descriptive explanation there. And some of these pages I can delete. I also need, as one of my other 4 main pages, aside from home, projects, and contact, I need an experience page. So I may look through some of these pages and decide that kind of the format of this that's already set up is something that I like for my experience page. So I'm going to change this one to my experience tab. And then that means I can delete these other pages by selecting them and then hitting the delete button, which will just remove them from the menu. So now I have my 4 main pages, and underneath my projects page, I'm going to need a lot of subpages underneath here. My main projects page is where I'm going to talk about the 5 qualities and project-based learning, which is so central to the Dayton Regional STEM School. However, all of the subpages underneath my projects page are going to contain a lot more information that I will want to appear as kind of a navigation underneath this menu. So for example, if I'm previewing this site and I mouse over the projects page, you can see that subpage called Gallery, which is appearing underneath. I'm going to go back to the editor. I do want a lot of subpages to appear under my projects page, but not necessarily with the title Gallery. So I can actually just delete this one called Gallery because I don't have anything that I need that looks like that. But I do want to make some other subpages. So I'm going to add a new page, and I can choose one of the templates that is already here. I know I'm going to need a page that has my 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade projects on it, and this template, for example, may be a good starting point. So I'm going to call this page my 7th grade page. And as I'm making that page, I'm going to say that I want it to be a sub-page. And what that's going to do, since I had the projects page highlighted before I hit add a new page, it's going to make 7th grade a sub-page underneath projects. And you can see that it's filled in using that template that I selected from the list. If I have a sub-page that's underneath another page that I want to reappropriate for a different page, you can see that I can just click and drag here by pressing the button on the left and move it underneath projects. And I can make something not a subpage just by pulling it outside back to the alignment with the other main pages, or by pushing a page in to be indented. So now you can see I've made 7th grade one of my main pages, and I've made experience a subpage underneath 7th grade simply by indenting it underneath. So let me put it back the way I had it before. That's how I actually want it to be. And I do want these pages, these 7th, 8th, 9th, and I'll come back and change this information later. But I do want these 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th and 11th grade pages to appear underneath projects. So you can see I'm just hitting each page of my menu to duplicate into my different grade levels. And that will allow me a lot of ease later. Whoops. That will allow me a lot of ease later in simply changing the content of those pages as opposed to having to build each page from scratch. And finally, the 12th grade page. So all of these pages I do want to appear. If I go back to preview, I do want all of those pages to appear underneath my projects tab when the user mouses over the projects page. However, there are other pages that are going to be underneath the projects tab that I don't actually want to appear in that sub-nav or that sub-menu underneath the projects menu. And those, for example, are the individual project detail pages as well as the quality detail pages. So I'm going to add those now by choosing a different template. I just clicked on add a page again, and I'm going to choose a page that's going to be sort of the template for my my persistence detail page. And I'm just looking through some of these templates. Maybe I want to go with this one, and I'm going to call this page persistence. I want this to be a subpage, but even though it appears like a regular subpage, I don't want this page to be visible in that subnav. So I'm going to, under the settings for that page, hide it from the menu, and that's going to allow me to get to the page. It'll be an existent page. It's not hidden from sight. It's just hidden from the menu. So that means when I go in and I preview this page, my menu is not affected. The persistence page does not appear underneath there, but I do know that the persistence page is there. I'm just going to have to create a button to it or some other kind of hyperlink, and I need pages to that effect for all of the qualities. Communication, collaboration, and inquiry. So now, under my subpages, I've got several more of these project subpages. These are the ones that will be visible in the menu. These are the ones that will be hidden. I'm also going to need for this year, my 7th grade year, which is where I'm starting my portfolio, I'm going to need project detail pages that actually go into depth about each of my projects, because each of those should have its own page that I will link to from this 7th grade page once I put pictures and titles in for each of my projects. So those as well, I don't want to be visible on the menu, but I do want to be part of this projects page. So I'm going to, underneath the projects page, going to add a page. Once again, I need to choose a template. Maybe I'll go with this one because I can see my artifacts going here and my description, my reflection with all of my connections to the qualities, and my content description going in this area here. So I'm going to call this subpage 7th project, and then the name of the project is going to go right here. So I will have anywhere from 3 to 6 projects for the 7th grade that will have pages to this effect as the title. And you can see that they've added themselves under here. I just need to hide them from the menu, so they're only reachable through that 7th grade page or through my quality detail pages, which are also listed under here. So I'm going to go ahead and make 7th project, name of project 2, and assuming that I'm going to do 3 projects for 7th grade, I'm going to go ahead and make a 3rd one. And there I'm able to later come back and fill in my projects once I know which projects I'm going to choose for my 7th grade year. Now some people do make other subpages underneath the projects page, such as a page for the 6 thinking hats, or sometimes they will add additional pages about other sorts of academic things that don't fall into a grade level, such as immersion, that type of opportunity. However, for now, this is at least the minimum requirement of my bone structure that's set up. You'll also see within each of these pages that you can change the page style so that information visually about the pages themselves you can edit to have a different kind of visual effect. For example, a div in the center or some other kind of border or floating area. So that is the basis of how to create different pages that meet all of the requirements. I can see if I'm previewing my page that my portfolio now, at least structurally, is set up the way that it should for all of the information that I need to put inside. Even though I have a lot of content to change now, I at least know structurally from the inside out my page is meeting all of the requirements and I'm ready to get to work.